back. It's your boy, Wardo Jackson, CEO, founder, creator of the great Sim the Draft game, where daily fantasy sports meets the movies. And he's been kind of MIA from the leaderboard recently, but he's back on the Sim the Draft podcast to defend his crown, title, as the biggest DFS and Sim the Draft enthusiast. It's Nick Ringballs. Ringwald.
How we doing tonight, Eduardo?
Yeah, what's going on, Nick? Glad to have you back in the house. Our Andy Cohen inspired Watch What Happens Live Without Drinking game word tonight shall be the word high school. Every time you hear one of us say this word, take a sip of what you're sipping, because tonight's pod will end up covering our favorite teen movies. A few high school might be involved in.
Yeah.
All right.
Have your drinks ready for this one tonight.
That's right, damn it. And, as I'm fond of asking all of my guests these days, tell me something good. The world's on fire. People are going back to school, being sent back home from school. We're not doing the right thing. Tenet came out and bombed the North American marketplace. Tell me something good, Nick.
Not much changed with me. My brother gets married next week. I got a fresh haircut today and ready to go. And then got to get a beard.
Are we sure that's good? Are we sure that's good? Do we like her? Do you like the young lady?
Oh no, she's fantastic. She'll make an excellent addition to the family.
All right. Okay. Well, that is something good. And since we are on the show, with no segues, we're going to jump right into it and go to one of my favorite segments, and that is what we're watching. And let me share my screen. Getting a little bit of feedback from you over there, Nick. Is everything all right over there? You good?
Yeah, you said you have some feedback from me?
Yeah, maybe that's just your hair. I don't know. You got this luscious beard that might be rubbing against the mic. I'm not sure.
I touched my face a little too much. I'll keep my hands down.
I know. Did we learn our lesson that first month? I guess not. I'm not over it myself. And I got cleaned up for y'all. Appreciate it. Love it. Okay. Let me share my screen. Oh, no, another thing. Wrong one. Here we go. Let's do this. And the first thing I am watching, and I am actually one episode behind. I think 5 episodes have been released, and it is Raised by Wolves. Are you familiar with this new Ridley Scott series, Nick?
I've seen the previews for it and everything every time I'm on Apple TV, but I haven't checked it out yet.
It's something else, man. I'll tell you that. So it's hard sci-fi, number one. A hard sci-fi futuristic show directed by Ridley Scott, where humanity destroyed most of Earth in a giant religious war between believers and atheists. And they've sent a bunch of survivors because, of course, Earth has been just destroyed. They've destroyed Earth because they're just a bit of a nuclear holocaust, whatever. And so they sent a bunch of survivors out on like a spaceship of Ark of a spaceship, actually. And they stumble on a planet where there's already actually 2 androids who've been raising children in the wild by themselves. So I guess it's kind of where they get the Raised by Wolves thing. Anyways, it's dark, it's moody, it's fascinating, it's quietly beautiful. And Ridley Scott directed the first 3 episodes. And I think he turned the reins over to someone named Luke Scott, which might be his son, maybe some sort of relative. So that's kind of cool.
Interesting. No, yeah, the previews of it looks like something I should at least give a first episode to check out, but I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, it's solid. It's definitely kind of creepy, but I dig it. It's definitely unexpected. And shout out to Jay Bird. He's the one who pulled my coat on this because there was like 8 things I wanted to watch last week, and it's easy to get kind of caught in the shuffle with it. But yeah, it's good. I enjoy it. Nick, do me a favor real quick. When you're not talking music, so I'm just getting a lot of feedback on your end.
Okay.
Just kind of keep that moving. But jump in at any time, please. Unmute yourself if you got something to say. Jump in, and we'll just kind of do a little quality control that way. And the other thing I'm watching is The Social Dilemma. There we go. And I've actually seen this twice. I made sure the draft mom watched this. This is fascinating, scary. documentary on how social media has been weaponized against the deep psychology of humanity. I mean, it's really scary, just like the levels of psychology they really dig into, and the way they've designed their platforms and apps to just totally, mess with you for engagement. It's not even like that. It's you would think that it's not necessarily a bad thing, social media, but like this guy named Tristan Harris, who's an early Facebook employee, said, think about a tool, because they like to refer to these social media platforms as tools. But the thing about a tool is that it waits there, waiting to be used. You pick it up, you use it, you get a benefit out of it, everyone's happy. The problem with social media, it's not a tool. It's always nagging at your attention. It's always sending you a notification or an ad or tagging you on something. And it's really kind of weaponized itself against your psyche to not only always be in constant contact with it, but not in the healthiest ways at all. So I thought this was a really fascinating movie. They have documentary, typical documentary interview style stand-ups, and then they split it with an ongoing kind of like soft story with starring Skylar Gisondo of Booksmart and The Righteous Gemstones fame. He's part of a family of teenagers who are super plugged in, and you kind of see the stuff that they're talking about in the abstract, in the documentary side, bleed into his kind of fictionalized story with him and his family, and how he gets just kind of drawn into, just the whole psychology of the internet. Have you seen, or are you aware at all of the Social Dilemma?
Yeah, so I actually started watching this tonight before the Heat Boston game, and I got about the first 30 minutes into it. And like you said, it's very interesting to see everything where you don't. It's never something, I guess, you actually think about while you're on social media, and then how basically everything that you're doing, they know exactly what you're doing, and they know how to target ads or target anything towards you just from the things you search. It's a bit alarming. I think you put in our group me chat of just how we're all just drones to social media.
Yeah, they really know how to pull our strings on this stuff. And let me tell you, I'm giving serious thought to, if not, maybe not eliminating my notifications, because I need to have some on for business reasons, but definitely cutting out a lot of them, because it's wild how they kind of run that shit. So that's what I'm watching. What are you watching, Nick?
So I've been keeping up with Ted Lasso as that comes out.
Yo, can we talk about Ted Lasso for a second? I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
I can't be the only one. Did you notice a quantum leap in quality between the third episode and the fourth episode? Because I saw it.
Oh yeah, are you talking about? Well, what are you talking about? Quality? What, like it's better or?
Well, I mean, I always thought it was pleasant, and I was having a good enough time. It was harmless the first 3 episodes, but I didn't get a lot of like laugh out loud fun, right? I had a lot of chuckle moments, right? It felt like the one note joke is kind of drawing thin. But when they went to I'm sorry, how far are you in it? Let me not spoil it. How far are you in it?
I'm all caught up. I'm waiting for Friday's episode.
Okay, that's what's up. So it was the fourth one where they have like the gala, where I mean, it's noticeable. It's like disturbingly noticeable how much better the writing and how they felt like with their characters. The characters felt like they're really being handled naturally for the first time ever in that fourth episode. It's just gotten better from there. And that was one that was written by Jamie Lee, who you might recognize her by face. She was on that. What's the name of that? Crashing. She was like the love interest for an episode, for a season or 2 on Crash. Not Jamie Lee Curtis, just Jamie Lee. Yeah, she was the love interest comedian on Crashing, and she wrote that episode, or at least she was credited for it. And that just really felt so good. And from there on out, it really felt like Ted Lasso knows what it's doing, and I'm really invested fully in.
No, yeah, I agree with that. The first 3 episodes, like you said, that like you could sense everything, like the jokes when they were coming and how they were going to play it off. But it still kept my interest enough that I wanted to keep watching. And then is this week going to be episode 7?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, no, these last three have been a lot good, or a lot good, a lot better, and it makes me upset that only one comes out every week because I just want to sit there and watch the whole season and see how everything works out for Ted now that he seems to have the ball rolling with his football club.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Sudeikis, yeah, he's just good people. I like him. So yeah, that's an excellent choice. What else are you watching?
So I'm really late to the party, but I started watching Community.
Oh, okay. How far are you?
I guess I'm on the fifth season, so I've really plowed through it. I had to dog sit for one of my friends a couple weekends ago, and while I was there, I just threw Community on, and I think I got through the first two seasons in like 2.5 days, and I've enjoyed it. I wish I would have watched it at the time. They have. Did you ever watch it?
No, yeah, actually, I think I watched the first four. I mean, it's like 6 seasons, right? Because they did that one season on I think that kind of ended it, whatever. I think I watched the first 4 seasons, but I kind of started to lose touch in the 5th season. And I mean, I will say that not a lot of people were talking about Community. Maybe we didn't have like a huge, robust social media outlet for it or whatever. But I mean, a lot of people really weren't talking about it, so you didn't really miss much as far as like being part of the football zeitgeist. It was constantly overlooked. A few people recognized it in its time, but not a lot of people talked about it. So you didn't really miss much. I kind of envy you getting a chance to binge it the first time because I mean, it was. I mean, right now, if I were to rewatch it, it'd definitely be like a third screen show, kind of like I do with Friends. I've actually restarted watching Friends from the beginning because I've watched it all before, but like in pieces. And so I actually envy you, and that's usually on a third screen when I'm like doing other stuff in the other 2 screens. But I mean, I kind of am envious of you watching the first time and are actually kind of focused on and catching all the sly little third level jokes.
No, for sure. I like the Abed character, the Indian guy.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
I like his his inadvertent fourth wall breaks where he just kind of talks about how he thinks he's in a TV show, and I didn't realize the people like was it Jillian Jacobs and Allison Brie? I didn't realize that this is where they got their start, or I guess I don't know if this is officially where they got their start from, but I'm guessing.
Well, claim to fame. It was their only claim to fame, really. But this is, I will say this though, the one thing you did miss out by not watching in real time is the evolution of Donald Glover. None of us saw that. None of us. Like I remember when he put out an album, I think it was between the second and third season, whatever, and I was like, Troy's gonna rap.
No, yeah, he's well, because you could kind of see it from the earlier seasons because him and Abed would sit there and it seemed like it was always the two of them. They just let them do whatever they wanted in that like last scene that you come back from the commercial and they were rapping with Betty White one episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's everywhere.
But no, I've enjoyed watching it. I think I've got about 20 episodes left, and then I got to figure out from there. I never did get around to finishing Insecure, and my one friend keeps telling me I need to get back to it.
Yeah, that's your next binge then. Yeah, definitely finish Insecure. I mean, you've got time. I think they got renewed for I think they might have got renewed for 2 seasons or something, but they're definitely coming back whenever it's safe to film and stuff. But I mean, if you really want to know like what the hype's gonna be about when the Emmys go around, and Issa Rae, I don't know, I think she's got a shot at possibly winning an Emmy. You'll know why if you finish watching that show. They really did some good work this last season. They really did.
No, yeah, I've watched the first season and a half and really enjoyed it. But I'm probably when I start over, or when I go back to it, I'll probably just start fresh, power through it because it's there. I like the 23-minute episodes. It's a lot. It feels much more manageable, even though
right, baby. If you're powering through, you can probably squeezing like 2 and some change in an hour. So yeah, absolutely. Keep it tight and right. Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, shit. let's keep this train moving since we are both avidly watching these NBA playoffs going on right about us. And let's get to our main topic of the podcast this evening. It's the top 5 teen movies. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, the rules go like thus. One of us names a movie that centers on the teenage experience. We alternate picks. Once someone picks that movie is out of play. As always, guests go first. I've done zero research on this, actually acting like some of my guests now, but I've seen so many teen movies, this may just come to me naturally. So go ahead, do your worst. We are separated by a generation, damn it. We probably even pick the same shit. Have at it.
So you were talking in our pre-show meeting, which sounds way more official than it is, that there might not be a lot of overlap, but I'm going to start with Superbad.
Oh, excellent pick. Way to take that off the board. All right. And why is Superbad a great teen movie in your estimation?
So 2007 would have been my junior year of high school. So this movie just feels super relatable. I wasn't the biggest partier growing up, but I played hockey, so I was around people who partied, and everything that they're trying to get a fake ID, trying to sleep with their crush, and everything like that before they go off to college. This felt like I was watching my friends on screen.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Superbad. I think I saw it twice at the theater. I was that impressed with it. Their experience in high school a little bit different than mine, but all the normal tropes, trying to get beer underage, going to a wild party, trying to get the cool girl, whatever, all that stuff, super relatable, very teenage. Firsts and stuff like that, last rides, all that sort of stuff. And this is the movie that made Jonah Hill a star. I mean, like, we knew of him. We just didn't think he'd like really break out. And Michael Cera was already a bit of a thing. I guess he kind of had that run during Arrested Development and the late aughts, whatever, Scott Pilgrim, all that good stuff. It's kind of receded from the limelight lately, but this was definitely like right in his pocket. It was like an August release. So we kind of didn't see it coming, and it turned out to be like a sneaky hit. And it's from the whole, Judd Apatow hit factory. He was an executive producer on this. I think the director who was director? Was it Evan something? Let me see. Who was the director on this?
Yeah, I think it was Evan Goldberg and Seth
Rogen. Yeah, produced this. So I hate the way they got this set up now. All right, Greg Mottola, there you go, who went on to do Leaving with Sarah Marshall and some other stuff. This is what Greg Mottola looks like? Oh, wow, he looks like Jim Rash. Okay. He did. Yeah, he's done a bunch of good stuff. Some episodic television, Superbad, Adventureland was cool. So this is, and I guess it's episodes on TV. So yeah, this was, I guess, his feature debut. And it's really kind of cool where Greg Apatow has like an informal cast of a company or a troupe of players he draws upon, both creatively, like on the behind the camera and in front of the camera. And so it was really cool. He gave Greg Mottola his big screen start on this, and I really enjoyed that movie. That's an excellent first pick. And so I'm gonna go super obvious because this has to be your next pick. I'm doing Mean Girls. My God, such a great movie. That's a good pick. High school experience of drink. Such a great high school experience. It was funny, and this is another one that we really didn't see coming. I think it came out in like May of 2004. I remember the marketing was really slick and cool, but definitely wasn't targeted to me. But I wanted to see it regardless. I fell in love with this movie. I definitely saw that multiple times in the theater. I think I owned it on DVD for a while until I gave up all my DVDs in 2008 because I'm tired of carrying that shit across country. I think I've got this on digital somewhere. So yeah, this is just a classic. Katie Heron, so quotable, memeable. Gretchen Wiener. Stop trying to make it happen.
Gretchen Wieners was peak.
Amanda Seyfried. Ooh, yeah. The whole thing, that whole Christmas the Jingle Bells rock. I mean, so inappropriate, so sexy. Loved it. And I don't. I mean, and not to go all into another podcast, but is this? I have to say this. It has to be Apex Mountain for Lindsay Lohan, right?
Yeah, that probably right. What? Because
Has she ever been better than in this movie?
Oh yeah, this had to be the peak of hers because she started to have her little mental breakdown not too long after that.
I mean, and not only, because we're not quite the same age. I think we're maybe less than 10 years apart. But even, I mean, she was like young, but still like older-ish. So it didn't feel creepy. Like, oh wow, Lindsay Lohan's hot. Like, it was all right. And it's just like so much promise. It's kind of sad. Like, I mean, everyone else in this, to a certain extent, really kind of made names for themselves. Rachel McAdams is just a queen bee of acting and comedy when she leans into it. Eurovision, that's not true. Lacey Chabert had her moment in the aughts in the late '90s, Party of Five, and Amanda Seyfried, when she's not accidentally sending out the sex video, viral video, she's getting legitimate acting work, and she's a thing. She's like a B-list top liner. So yeah, it's just so sad that Lindsay Lohan just, I mean, live your life, I guess, but running what she got, running like a some sort of resort in Greece or something. I don't know. Yeah,
there's worse things to be doing than running a resort in Greece, but.
True. Lizzie Kaplan, love her, miss her.
I think this movie was conflicted with Lacey Chabert because she was Meg originally on Family Guy. I think this movie might have she left Family Guy and thought this would be her big break, so it might have actually backfired on her a little bit.
Yeah, and also the unsung MVP of this movie, Tina Fey, who wrote it, had a nice bit part in it. Also, I mean, she's going to be getting checks off this forever, not just in replay residuals on like TNT, whatever. In fact, they made like a Broadway play out of it, and they're reviving the Broadway play of it. If we ever get the arts back again, the live arts back again, I mean, she's going to be, she's probably added like off just this one movie alone. So that's my next pick. That's my first pick. What's your second pick?
All right, hold on 1 second.
All right. Do we need to kind of cut around this, or are you getting like props? Just FYI, I can't see.
Okay, sorry. No,
you're fine. No, I'm saying like when I'm presenting, I personally can't see you, but the camera can see you.
Oh, okay. No, well, Andrew came downstairs, so I didn't know if he was wanting to jump in and do top three. We do our top three, or if he's just watching the basketball game.
He's just watching the basketball game. That's cool.
Did you want to jump in and do your top three teen movies, or you want to watch the basketball game? You gotta make it.
This is a live show. I mean, I may cut around. This is a live show.
All right, he's decided he's coming over. He's got a list. He's prepared, so he's ready.
All right, so then I guess it's his turn. You have to go. You have to do one.
So,
sir.
Hello,
Drew. What up? All right. So, what's your first movie?
So, Superbad and Mean Girls are gone.
Yeah.
Superbad and Mean Girls are gone. I will take Clueless.
Ah, shit. God dang it, that's my age range. You're not supposed to know about Clueless. All right, excellent pick, sir.
He's in between our ages, so we've got all different going on.
All right, cool. All right, Clueless. Give us a spiel. Why did you pick Clueless aside to make me?
I mean, actually, I hadn't even seen Clueless till this summer during quarantine.
Really? Okay.
Even though that's my age group, I was pretty much since my age group, so I don't know how I missed it, but it was really good. So, Paul Rudd.
What do you like about Clueless?
I mean, just she does fantastic, and then Paul Rudd before we even knew who he was. It's hilarious, and
he looks the
it's a good
same.
movie.
Look at that fresh-faced young man. Hello, fellow
He
kids.
looks exactly the same. He hasn't
Did
aged.
you guys see his
25.
viral meme or whatever? His PSA about wearing masks came out yesterday. It looks the same. Ageless.
Yeah, just a little bit of gray in his hair instead of all black. That's it.
A little bit, yeah.
Just
Actually,
a tiny bit.
I need to I'm sorry. I'm like talking to you guys like the audience can see. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen so they can see Paul Rudd in all his younger glory.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Good.
All right, cool. Yeah, so Paul Rudd, excellent. Yeah, and also, rest in peace, Brittany Murphy. Just a gem. Ty, you're a virgin who can't even drive. She was so good. Oh, I miss her so much. She was great. And yes, peak. I hate to say this, but is this peak Alicia Silverstone? Did she kind of like with John Singleton? Did she do her best work first? I don't know.
Yeah,
probably. What else has she truly been in the last?
She was Batgirl in one of those Batman movies. She wasn't that great. I don't know. Stacey Dash. Definitely Stacey Dash.
Blast from
This
the past.
and Mo Money. You probably haven't seen Mo Money because that's definitely of 97, Nick. But she was so hot in Mo Money. And there was a big Stacey Dash phenomenon, and it came and went about as quickly as her not being a Republican. now she's all magnitude and she's totally lost to us. But man, she was hot. That summer of 96 and 98. We loved some Stacey Dash, boy. Yeah, clueless. Oh, and Donald Faison. Oh yeah. Hey, woman.
Yeah.
He was great. Loved him. All right, excellent pick. All right, so you're back on deck, Nick. What's your second pick?
All right. I feel like I'm going to take one from your age range, and I'm going to go with The Breakfast Club.
Very nice. That is in my age range, but not on my list. So, but I like the spirit. Breakfast Club. Go ahead. Tell people why you like the Breakfast Club.
So this is. I feel like everybody over the age of probably 18 has seen this movie. It's on TBS or TNT or something almost once a week, and it's just. Was it five outcasts that just have a Saturday detention, and you sit there and you realize, even though they're from all different social circles and everything like that, that when you just get to sit down and talk to somebody, that everyone's got some struggle they're going through, or deep down, you're all human beings, and it's a good message that I feel like sometimes people forget about, that it doesn't matter what background you're coming from, but everyone's dealing with their own problems.
Right. Yeah, it's classic. It's timeless. I have nothing more to add. Do you have anything to add on it, Andrew? Breakfast Club?
It's got to be that group at pretty much their prime, all of them.
The Brat Pack. That was like I was a little too young to really fully appreciate the Brat Pack. That was like the mid 80s. I guess I was like 10 when this came out, 9, 10. But yeah, it's they were a thing. They all went and did interesting work. Robert Downey Jr. kind of joined it. Less Than Zero, I think, is a thing. But once again, he's about maybe 10 years older than me. I was too early to really appreciate like the whole drug aspect of it and everything. But yeah, they got a lot of work off this. Pretty in Pink, I think, was like her next big film. Ali Sheedy was the thing. Short Circuit. She was in Short Circuit, I believe, and some other nice, kitschy 80s films. Yeah, this definitely set them up. All right, excellent pick. My next pick is going to be. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit. I'm gonna steal from your generation a little bit. I'm gonna go mid '90s. Although it's interesting because mid '90s kind of referring to.
Oh, okay.
Is this actually your age range? I'm not sure, but this is actually a really slightly affecting film, directed by Jonah Hill. This young kid, it's like about maybe 10, 11-ish. Gets into skating because he wants to be, kind of cool with his brother, who, Lucas Hedges. Lucas Hedges had quite a year back in 2018. Like he was in this great film with Julia Roberts that nobody saw that had me just bawling my eyes out. Lucas Hedges is really a total 180 for that other character. Plays got a bit of a screw up older brother to the young kid, and the kid gets kind of lured into skating culture. Skating culture in the mid '90s in Santa Monica, West Side of LA, that type of stuff, and it's just really good. I really enjoyed it. Really strong directorial debut by Jonah Hill, and I kind of went under the radar. Like he did the circuit, he was on everyone's podcast, did all the interviews and stuff, but I just feel like kind of went under the radar. So I'm putting mid '90s out there just so people can rediscover it, hopefully.
No, yeah, this didn't come out in theaters anywhere near the St. Louis area, so we basically just had to wait for. I think it's on Hulu, or it was on Hulu. I caught it about a year or so ago, and it's just it's a well-paced movie. I mean, there's nothing overly exciting in it, but it keeps your interest the whole time. And but I'm really guilty of staring at my phone during movies or slow parts, and this was one of the few movies where I watched it the whole time.
Yeah, and it's not like it's like a big action thriller or anything. It's just a lot of people talking, not so much in rooms, but like in skate parks or hanging out and stuff. But it just really gets you inside the mind of this kind of like lonely, disaffected kid over in west side of LA. His mom's a mess. Dad's not really around. I mean, my mom's not a mess. We love you, Craft Mom. But my dad wasn't around, so I kind of, relate to that kind of disaffected, whatever-ism. And so this is like maybe a decade past when I was like at that kind of preteen age, but I can relate to a lot of it. I enjoyed it. Have you seen it, Andrew?
I've not seen this one.
Put it on the list. Good stuff.
Yep. I'll add it to the list. I got a heck of a list.
All right, man. So what's your second one?
I'm going to go back to the 80s like Nick did. I'm going to take Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Well played. On the list. Not surprised it got snake. I begrudge you nothing. It's excellent. Tell us why you like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Andrew.
I mean, it's hard to come up with a reason not to like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Matthew Broderick is unbelievable in this movie. And obviously he's set up to be something no one can be, but then Cameron is so relatable to like everybody.
And Mia Sarah, boy. Woo,
yeah, I was about to say that was my next comment.
Man, yeah, bring her. What's she up to? Yeah, well, I'll do a quick little rabbit hole on her. Keep talking. I'm see what she's up to.
And then even the sister is Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, Jennifer Grey. Wasn't
that
Jennifer Grey on Walking Dead or something? Was she on that show?
I think she was in something this year.
Okay.
It was
Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, I thought she came out of retirement to do something.
Oh, was in Harley Quinn? Oh, TV series. Never mind. Okay. Interesting.
And then you got Mr. Rooney. Mr. Rooney's just ridiculous in this movie. Trying to catch him the whole movie.
I think he's dead now, isn't he? Jeffrey something. Bit of a disgrace. He had some child issues. Let's not go into that. Yeah, he was great in this role.
Let's just stick to this role. He was ridiculous. Trying to get past the dog. Trying to catch him.
And I would say this definitely piqued everyone in this movie, except for I think Alan Ruck is having a moment. The dumb brother on Succession, basically the Donald Trump Jr. of the family. I mean, I'm not saying that's. I think Succession has a chance to be his best role, but this is definitely kind of peak Alan Ruck, as well as definitely Broderick. I think of iconic Broderick roles. I mean, it's got to be Ferris Bueller first, right?
Probably.
That's I see Alan Ruck. I think of Ferris Bueller.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, nice bedhead.
I haven't watched Succession, so that would be part of the reason.
Oh,
I know.
Okay, never mind. We're moving on. We don't kink shame around here. We also don't watch shame, but that definitely has to be at the top of your. You know what? I give you permission to bypass Insecure for Succession. Although palate cleansers, we do,
back and forth.
Yeah, one for Issa, one for Brian Cox. It's all good. One for Alan Ruck. Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on. Moving on. That seems unfathomable. We're moving on. What's your next film, Nick? Bring us home. What's your third and final film?
So you're gonna pick it. Just pick it. I'm gonna do American Pie.
Oh, that's not what you wanted.
Wow.
I almost said American Pie 2, and then you know what? Actually, American Pie 2, because we're doing teen movies. It doesn't have to be just high school.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you're right. Teen movies, absolutely, totally counts. So why American Pie 2 over American Pie 1?
It's better.
It's better. It's the simple answer. I just like this one a lot better. I like them. I guess they're still they're on Lake Michigan for the summer, and it feels like they took the hijinks up another level from the first one, and you get I believe everyone's back from the first one. I don't think we're missing anyone.
No, everyone's back.
Shannon Elizabeth has a much smaller role, but otherwise everyone's back. And then I think they realized the gold mine that was Stifler after the first one, so he had a little bit more of a bigger role in this. And
what was this movie? Or was that the first one?
Which one? What
was this the movie where John Cho gave us MILF, or was that the first movie?
I think it was that one because it was the party right at the beginning of the movie where he high fives Finch for it.
So American Pie 2 gave us MILF.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That in itself is iconic. How do you come out the box, start off the sequel movie with just a piece of pop culture that, I mean, is now embedded in not only just the cultural lexicon, I think it's Merriam-Webster. It's been amazing. That's like a writer's dream to create something, a piece of culture that is embedded into everyday speech. Wow.
Yeah, I forgot that's where this came from because he says it. Henry Cho says it, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Mother, I'd like to."
Yeah, John Cho, man, that's another guy we need to get more stuff. But yeah, I mean, and when we're talking about Dion Waiters Award, he's been there for one scene, and he's iconic. Yes, American Pie 2, well played. I like that. That's a good one. All right, so I guess my second one. You know what? This one's fine, and it's kind of new, but I really enjoyed it. Perks of Being a Wallflower. I came late to it. I think I just watched the movie just last year. It's really adorable, very much teen, high school centric. Oh, by the way, Andrew, that's our drinking game word of the night is high school again.
All right.
Basically the whole. I mean, I don't know what your high school experience was like. I wasn't very popular. I didn't really like high school. I fucking hated it. And I'm not saying I was some super nerd because I went to a high school where everyone was kind of at the top of their academic game, but I didn't really fit in. I liked myself fine, but I wasn't desperate to fit in. So I found my niche on the outside. The kind of the loners type people or whatever. And so I can really relate to this friend group. Just you have the one girl that kind of brings a little bit of sexual tension because she's kind of hot, but yet she's cool, and you kind of hang out with her. I really kind of related to this friend group, and it just really rang true, even though probably a generation and a half apart. It really did kind of rang true those universal themes of being in high school, kind of the trying to find where you fit in and finding your people. I guess that's the big theme of this movie is finding your people. And Pittsburgh, yeah. You don't see much Pittsburgh in films these days, so yeah, Pittsburgh. Have either of you seen this movie? Are you guys familiar with Perks of Being a Wallflower?
I haven't seen it. My one friend who wants me to watch Insecure keeps telling me I need to watch this one too. So,
who is this friend? Bring them on the pod. They've got excellent taste.
I saw it back when it came out. I haven't watched it since though, so I don't remember it too well. I did know that. I recall remembering thinking that I thought it was pretty good though.
Okay, yeah, and this guy like Ezra Miller, I guess he had like he got a hive, like people really liked him because of this film. I only knew him because that bit part of the Flash and one of the Justice League movies, whatever. But yeah, I can totally see it. He's very charismatic in this movie, and it's fun. And Emma Watson, another Brit who can totally nail an American accent. It's kind of annoying, but she's fine in this. Yeah, everyone involved. That's my third and final. What's your third and final movie, Andrew?
All right. Deciding between two here. All right, I guess I would just go with 10 Things I Hate About You.
And honestly, I went into the pod thinking to talk about this movie because there's no way y'all were going to get it. But thanks for carrying the torch and bringing it up. I appreciate you, Andrew. Tell us what you love about 10 Things. Tell us what you love about 10 Things I Hate About You.
I probably should have picked it sooner. This is one of my favorite movies. So Heath Ledger, obviously, Julia Stiles are fantastic together.
Gabriel,
the dad,
choosing this.
Yeah, the dad is hilarious. The entire movie, trying to talk his daughters into not going out with any boy ever, and he's trying to do fitness on his back porch.
Yeah, and this is during the time, like the late '90s, early aughts, where they all wanted to have modern Shakespeare adaptations. You had the Vines movie, a girl that covers a boy at boarding school, and so fun fact, after I got my book deal and I started doing some screenwriting stuff inside, I started going on a meeting. Everyone wanted to have Shakespeare adaptations and stuff because 10 Things They Hate About You did well. There was, I think they did Othello, like they made Mekhi Phifer play like a basketball star at like a boarding school, starring Julia Stiles as like the Desdemona. So she was definitely down for the contemporary Shakespeare stuff. And we would get across, LA, taking meetings like, yeah, I want to see, an adaptation of 12 Nights or, The Tempest, where everyone was doing Shakespeare adaptations and stuff. And this was a Shakespeare adaptation that came in through. Oh my God! And that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, yep.
And what's his face? Crumholtz.
Yeah, I always want to call him Adam Goldberg. I get him and Adam Goldberg confused all the time because I think they look very similar.
Yeah, they do favor each other somewhat. Yeah. Who's this guy? Yeah, Andrew Keegan. What happened to him, man? Yeah, everyone was in this sucker. And then also Seattle, great Seattle film. My hometown of Seattle, and I want to say they filmed one of these scenes at my high school. I can't remember which though. So yeah, this is we got a lot of Alfred Candy. Man, yes, younger Alfred Candy. I've been reintroducing myself and introducing the draft mom to the West Wing. So she's plowing through that and just loving it. So yeah, Alison Janet, young CJ Craig. So yeah, a lot of good stars in the making of this movie. Well done. All right, well, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up right here with a nice, because we're the show with no segues, and we are. And actually, so real quick while I go into our middle segment. There we go. Appreciate it. And there we go. All right. So for those who are listening to the podcast, we're going to take a pause for the cause to bring those new to the game or the DraftStream alpha test up to speed on how the game is played and what Cinema Draft is all about. So we will be right back right after this. We're back. So we lost Andrew, but we gained Fletch, a.k.a. Chevy Chase, a.k.a. Clark Griswold. That must be the holiday vacation. That's right, holiday vacation. All right, so we're back, this time with the quarantine movie of the week. Last week's quarantine movie of the week was Collateral. And actually, let me share my screen to get us ready for this week's quarantine movie of the week. And Collateral is great. That's the Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx actioner. And you can find that on our Cinema Draft Twitter feed. This week's quarantine movie of the week is The Social Network, and this is definitely one of my favorite movies. It's probably one of my it might even be one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. It's often noted as, the best movie of the 2010s. It's definitely one of the best scripts I've ever read. I remember I got an early pre-production script of it about maybe 9 months before it came out. I read it. Get Sorkin. I read anything Sorkin, and I remember telling my mom all I got to do is set up the camera and not trip over, and they'll win Oscars. And that's exactly what happened. I think Fincher won Oscar for director or something. It definitely won an Oscar for best original screenplay. So Sorkin definitely won his Oscar off that. It's exciting. It's propulsive. It made something. I'm not saying it's unfilmable. They made something very kind of dry and boring, which is essentially entrepreneur startup tech stuff, really exciting and really propulsive. They got the Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross score in on it, which was actually kind of groundbreaking at the time for them, because it's kind of like a techno subversive vibe to it that really keeps the whole movie moving. And I'm telling you, and it's just really quick on its feet, and you can even see it in the script. I think the script, most 2-hour scripts are about 120, 125 pages. I'm pretty sure that one was 140 to 160, because you just have, and it's Sorkin. It's all dialogue. It's walk and talk. It's rapid fire. Which when I get excited, I talk fast, so I can appreciate that. But and just a cast of great stars who could really handle that type of dialogue, rat-a-tat-tat style. Well, like that whole scene at the beginning of the movie and the script where he's talking about, there are more genius level IQs in China than, the population of certain countries, whatever, or certain states. And that's all in the script too. So a lot of what was in the script made it to the screen, and you just love to see all the little flourishes that David Fincher, the director behind it, took with it, and really did make Armie Hammer a star in a dual role, playing twins, playing the Winklevi twins. Just such a great movie. I loved it. What are your thoughts on The Social Network, Nick? I know you had to have seen it.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I think this was, if not my favorite from the 2010s, it was right up there. I think I brought it up for one of our drafts on one of the previous podcasts, but yeah, I love everything about this movie. Like you said, it's incredible. It's incredibly fast paced for a movie that, it should theoretically be a very boring movie with the content, but it's fast paced. Everyone nails their role. It feels like everyone's perfectly cast. This should be a movie that everybody sees.
I agree, and to juxtapose it, we watched Social Network one night, and then The Social Dilemma the next night, and then I point out to the draft mom, hey, that's Justin Timberlake. When Sean Parker makes does a cameo on The Social Dilemma, I'm like, that was Justin Timberlake. Do you see the connections? So yeah, I love The Social Network. It's great stuff. Definitely looking forward to seeing. There's a bit of a spiritual sequel there that's in development right now. Bitcoin Billionaires. It's kind of like the second act of what happened to the Winklevi after they won the settlement. I think they won $65 million in a buttload of Facebook stock, which they kind of flipped and turned into buying a bunch of Bitcoin earlier. They actually bought is it 1%? Yeah, I think they bought 1% of all the available Bitcoin that was available back in 2014, and kind of their path to becoming Bitcoin billionaires. And so that's obviously paid off for them handsomely. I'm pretty sure they're over, the butthurt of Facebook, but the fact that they run their own cryptocurrency exchange and stuff, and have had a really successful second act after Facebook, written by the same guy who wrote the book that the movie The Social Network was based on, Ben Mesrick. I think it's going to be another really successful film, and I don't know if they'll bring back Fincher. Fincher is in no small part, a major reason why The Social Network worked. But I think the material's there, so hopefully we'll get The Social Network type treatment. All right, so that is our quarantine movie of the week, and it is time for our DraftStream update. And yes, it's your boy, Swag Official, in the building, who won this past week. I was about maybe less than 10 points off of the perfect call sheet. Had a lot of Julian the Phantom. Julian the Phantom set some DraftStream records. Quite interesting to see. We had a 9.9 No, he had a 99 on a Google user score. I've never seen anything like that in my life. We've had some 97s, even a 98. Never seen a 99. I'm not sure if that's like a Madden-esque perfect score. It probably could go to 100, but 99 was pretty rare, and that's what helped propel Julian the Phantoms to call sheet dominance. In second place was Gamble 24x7. G24, the homie, the all-time Cinema Draft money winner. He came in second and number one, or in tops in the money-winning slots. And in her second appearance in the top 5, Brown Baby the Draft Mom, our mascot, came in hot. Coastal Elites unexpectedly boosted into the top 5. I talked my shit on Thursday, actually maybe even Saturday, about her chances, because Coastal Elite I just didn't think would play. I watched Coastal Elite on Saturday. It was decent. It actually got better as the vignettes went along. The first 2 were pretty bad. Bette Midler, Dan Levy. Issa Rae's was decent to good, and then Sarah Paulson's was great, and then I damn near cried. Caitlin Deaver's final one, like a good anchor leg in track. She just brought it home with the really good monologue on being a nurse, emergency nurse who's brought in from Montana to New York to work with people who were struck with the coronavirus. And she had a really touching story about how she dealt with this one patient who touched the lives of everyone around her, yada, yada, yada. So if anything, for Coastal Elites, if you're going to check it out, you can essentially skip the first 3, check the last 2. Totally worth your time. And then, of course, the Social Dilemma, which we talked about earlier, which is great. So that was last week's. And actually, while we've got you here, Ringballs, let's talk about your call sheet real quick. I'm not sure if we covered it in the strategy pods. Tell us your thinking behind your construction here, because I actually admired the guts of it.
So yeah, I believe I missed the week before. So when I was doing my research, I saw that this had a really good score, or this Julian the Phantoms was scoring really well at the beginning, and then I don't remember what I saw in Mambo Man that made me. I think it was more of a price situation, because on.
Well, it had a 9.9 actually at the time. And now,
okay, that's yeah.
And Mambo Man actually set a record for our highest IMDb user score. It actually had a 9.9 by the time everything was said and done. I guess one other person came in through 36 ratings. It had a 9.9. A 37th came on and dropped it to a 9.8. But yeah, so maybe it was just that 9.9 that made you think it was going to do great. The issue with that one was it didn't get enough supporting scores. It didn't have, like, no one else really reported on it except for the IMDb user score. Otherwise, and Metacritic. Otherwise, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I was hoping it would come through with some other ones, because I work about 5 hours, or I go to work about 5 hours before everything locks, so I don't get the last second. So usually, whatever it's looking about at 1 o'clock Central Time is about what I roll with. So that's probably part of the reason I haven't been up near the leaderboard as much. I haven't got to check back in before the 8 o'clock Central Time lock.
What are you doing earning a living? What are you doing? I feel you. No, that's great. Actually, and I know I say this every week, and I feel like every week we're so much closer, getting closer to the web app going up. I shared with you a slide of one of the screens we have, where it's looking good. I think we'll have a really effective mobile game about a month's time, even too. So hopefully, apologies for the spreadsheet version of this. I know there's no way you can really cut and paste on a phone at work with this nonsense, and we do appreciate your playing the game. Keep playing, keep throwing up your call sheets, stay involved with the community. We love you, Ringballs. And I'm sure once it's back up on a web app situation, mobile style, we'll see you back up there again.
I do want to give props to Draft Mom, though. I believe in the group me about 2 months ago. I said she would get a win, and she pulled through a few weeks ago, didn't she?
Oh, snap. You did. You called it. You called your shot. I will make sure to tell her you said that, and I'm sure you will always have a warm meal available in the Jackson household once we're on the other side of this pandemic. And I'm telling you, I was very proud of her too. We nearly pulled off what I like to call the Jackson family box out. through Sunday, I was in first and she was in second, and I was rooting for her. I wanted to see her. I wanted to see her get that second place. There ain't no way she's gonna pass me this week, but I want to see a nice little, Jackson family box out, crowding y'all out the top spots. Get your little, first and second place monies, since we're both Cinema Draft affiliated. But I think the next goal for the Draft Mom is for us to pull off a Jackson family box out. That's what I'm looking forward to. All right, so
I hope she gets there. You can definitely all your coaching with her, you can see her improvements here in the last few weeks. And when she won, I think I was probably just as excited for her as she was. I didn't get to see her reaction, but it felt like, you know what, she got it. She figured it out. That's awesome.
Well, if you actually really want to see it, there's in the hour-long pod from that week, I believe our guest was Steph Torres, or All Latinx pod. I did like a separate 9-minute interview with her with Draft Mom on her win. So that's in there if you want to backtrack and check that out.
I need to go back and watch that then. So I guess I've missed that.
If you want to jump around, it's timestamped for your convenience. So we're proud of the Draft Bomb. That's our goal for this week. The Jackson family box out atop the standings. We'll see if we can make that happen. And this week we got 20 hot ones. I could talk all about these because I created them, but what were your initial impressions of the field this week in the talent pool for the DraftStream game, Ringballs?
So right off the bat, I don't know how well it's going to score, but I'm excited for Antebellum to finally be up. Or hold on, am I looking at the right one? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for Antebellum. This was the one I was looking forward to seeing in theaters pre-COVID. There's another one on here that was it? I think it was Penis or whatever they call it. No, that's not it. There's one of these shows that no, but Antebellum for sure, because Jordan Peele's the producer on that, right?
Yeah, he's and it's got a kind of Peele factory vibe to it. Like, it might be horror, it might not be. I hope. Well, there might be some horror elements to it, but it's like light horror, like a social thriller, something I could get into. I'm not a horror guy, but I've seen Get Out, I've seen Us, I enjoyed them both, and this seems like the type of film I can get behind. I'm concerned because the reason why its salary so low is because the early critical reviews are not good. Now, we might chalk it up to horror as a genre not usually being, critically reviewed well. I'm just gonna watch this regardless, or at least, well, I'm not gonna give it a 30-minute run. I'm gonna watch this. It's Janelle Monáe. I'm gonna watch this. Damn it, I love me some Janelle Monáe. Also, Jay Devlin. Shout out to Jay Devlin if he's been watching these anytime recently. That's one of his favorite actresses. Actually, is Janelle Monáe. So I'm gonna watch this and see what's up with it. But as far as putting it on my call sheet, I'm not sure. I did go over some initial thoughts with the wrap up from last week on where I thought some value might be. We might be able to get some unexpected value from Baby, although most of it's kind of baked in. It's in its third season. Pause Unite might surprise us. You never know with family movies. And this is not animation. This is family. This is like, voiceover of animals and stuff, which I don't get down with, but I know there's a market for that type of stuff. VOD might be a hard sell. I don't know if there are a bunch. If it's on Disney Plus, it definitely will get covered more. VOD, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm the same. The ones where you just do the animals. That's how I felt like the new Lion King was, and I wasn't feeling it as much. It feels like it loses all its characters when their character from the characters, when it's just like it feels like the voices are talking over the animals instead of with the animals.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So I don't really know what to expect of Spidey's, but it's, and I think once again, it could be anyone's weekend. We've gone through our most of our experiments with the optimizers. We've shown that anyone can win. The Draft Mom, she studies so hard, hours every week to try to put in just one perfect call sheet. I love it. Gamble 24, X7, G24, the homie who just puts in an hour of research each week. Anyone can win with the right strategy. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes out this week. I honestly haven't really started forming a strategy yet. I'm probably have to. I'm gonna keep my mind blank until Thursday afternoon and just kind of see where the preliminary scores are and kind of go accordingly with that. Who we are. I'm curious about, and this is a test too. We've never really had Monday debuting shows in the talent pool. So I'm very curious to see how these perform. If I'm curious as far as if if these do well and everyone's on them, as if like the game's too solved, I might kind of shy away from these again. But these were too high profile not to include in a talent pool. Like we missed out on ever having. I think I may destroy you, that show, which was excellent. The Michaela Cole one. I don't know if you saw that, Ringballs, but that was an experience. Like that's one where I'm glad we couldn't binge it, because each episode is so heavy. It deals with a lot of issues of sexuality and consent that I needed the week off in between. So you might want to check that one out after you get through Insecure and Succession, also in the HBO family. But yeah, so we never got a chance to cover that for the game. So I'm curious to see how these perform, because I do want, like, if these work, I do want to include Monday debuts as part of the talent pool. But when you've had like 4 days of data available, I'm a little concerned. It might be too easy for the game. So we'll see. Any other thoughts on the talent pool?
I've never actually watched Archer. Well, let me rephrase that. I've seen the first few episodes. It's just one that I've never sat down and just started watching. I'm sure I would love it. I am a fan of H. John Benjamin, and I've liked the episodes. So I'm guessing this will score pretty well, but I saw you've got it priced fairly appropriately. So I don't know if there's necessarily going to be any value for it, but I'm sure it's going to be well into the hundreds for its score.
Yeah, I think a title like this, because it's in its 11th season, I mean, those numbers are kind of baked in. So if you go to the IMDb, if you go to a previous Metacritic season or whatever, you kind of know what you're going to get. So this might be it. So depending on how the other titles shake out this week, I mean, if there's a lot of low value, like a lot of low salary value available, then it might be good to pick it up just on GP. Just get the points. Might be a points grab, because I mean, there's a very high likelihood this is not going to suck. Like last week, I missed out on Woke. I overestimated it when I set the talent pool. Kind of hard to see around corners when you're doing these on Saturday, Sunday nights, whatever. But something like Archer is a known quantity. The 18,800 for H. John Benjamin, I believe, is pretty much earned. Like, it's not going to score less than 110. So there's safety in those numbers. It's just a matter of, do we need to go this high? Do we need to go up this high? Can we find value elsewhere? And that's what I'm really kind of excited about this talent pool, is that there's so many unknowns going into this week. I had zero data on Departure. I had zero data on Ratchet. Several of these Netflix shows definitely. I'm not sure if it's an embargo situation or they make sure that they don't get you to release the critical reviews until the day it debuts, but they usually have their original series locked down tight. So, I had zero data on a lot of these, so I just kind of had to go with kind of feel, historical averages, because now we've got a nice data set with the master score sheet. Do you ever go to the master score list and check out some of these scores and sort and figure out what's what?
Oh yeah, I use it for tiebreakers a lot. If I'm sitting there trying to decide between two titles, I'll go and look at the platform they were released on and see how those historically have performed. And if so, like something like Apple TV, is pretty much for the most part a lock to probably be 85, 90 points. When in doubt, I usually lean with Apple TV. Was it Virtual? They typically score pretty high too. But no, yeah, I use the master list especially when it comes to for tiebreakers.
You heard it here first, y'all. The pros use the master score list. Use your master score list, y'all. You can find it in the scoring tab of every call sheet list right here, master score list here. Click on that. It'll take you to this. And actually, I'm not sure because I'm always seeing it from a creator standpoint. Are you able to sort it when you're in it, or do you have to make a copy and sort through it and stuff?
No, it's sortable for the non-creator.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Yeah, so definitely use the master score list when you're trying to figure out your call sheets. Sometimes I definitely refer to it here if I'm lost on how to salary a certain title. And we've got a lot of good data in there. We've got literally 5 months of data, y'all. Ringballs, thank you, sir. You've been with us from the beginning. You've been with us since the Cinema Draft days, but especially through this new adventure with DraftStream. You've been with us all 5 months. I appreciate you. The spreadsheeting is close to an end. You've been a champ. We've got so much great data out here now that, especially when we go live on the web app and start opening this up to outsiders and new people, you'll have a huge leg up having this type of data at your disposal. I mean, we'll make it available for everybody, but I mean, having 5 months worth of gameplay data and strategy will be invaluable in those first early weeks. It might take 2 or 3 months for people to catch up to what we're on to over here. So enjoy those early wins.
I'm looking forward to the website. I know the slide that you sent me, it looks fantastic. So hopefully we get that up and running soon, and everyone can see just all the hard work you and everyone else has put in, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Ringballs, appreciate you. And with that, we're going to wrap up our update and largely this show. Just remember, everyone, if you're playing the DraftStream game, please submit your call sheets by Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. You get a 3 max call sheets you can submit. We are giving out $50 in our prize pool. Once again, $35 to first, $15 to second for the top 2 non-Cinema Draft affiliated call sheets. And, of course, our lowball bonus. And actually, let's talk about our lowball bonus from this past week real quick. It is, once again, G24, the homie, just missing out on a perfect lowball call sheet. He had another... He had mostly had it pegged. The Duchess kind of threw him off because it looks like it had a late rally to get some more positive user scores. But yeah, the low ball is also another way you can go. Rules for that is simple. Try to get the lowest scoring call sheet. You must spend at least $75,000 in salary. You must also use at least an actor from 3 titles. And of course, normal call sheet rules apply. 1 headliner, 1 co-star, 1 day player minimum. All right. So check that out. Get your call sheets in and come get this free money. It's not like you're doing anything else better at home in quarantine. Come get this free money. All right, so let's bring this in for a landing. Thanks again for elevating the Cinema Draft pod with your presence. My guy, Ringballs. This is the time on our outro I asked for my guest to plug your ish. So go ahead, plug your ish, Ringballs.
I don't have really anything to plug. It was great being back on with you, Eduardo. And let's get this
going on this week for your
we are going to work on it. We are going to work on our teen movies bracket. So hopefully we can get that up and running by Friday, and we'll make sure to tag Cinema Draft in it, and
please
everyone else can play along.
Excellent. All right, and where can they find you and your brackets?
It would be at Ringballs22 on Twitter.
Excellent. All right, good stuff. And once again, thanks for coming on the pod, for your DraftStream strategy. We'll have you back again. You're one of the OGs. We love you having been on the pod as much as you have. And you know what? Let's see what we can get to play us out. Get something to play us out. There we go. Little hero music on the way out. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for listening at home. We'll be back next week with another great episode, with another great guest, and another top 5. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.